Welcome to an exclusive briefing on the Daily Bollocks. I am your Patriot Investigator, and today we are breaking down a monumental survival plan for the absolute heart of our nation. We have the data, we have the policies, and we are laying out the Restore Britain Patriots manifesto to save the great British pub. Let's get one thing straight. Pubs are the heartbeat of Britain's social and economic fabric. We ain't just talking about a place to grab a pint. This sector pumps a staggering 93 billion quid into the British economy every single year and employs 3.5 million hard-working people. It's the natural meeting point of our communities, the place where the young learn social skills and a true work ethic. But that heartbeat is flatlining. We are currently losing the equivalent of one pub every single day. Let those numbers sink in. 16,000 pubs permanently lost since the year 2000. Over a third of all pubs have simply vanished. Between 2017 and 2025, the ONS counted a devastating 219,590 business deaths in accommodation and food services. It's an absolute rural wipeout. What is the root cause? Why are our landlords being run out of town? Because the system is rigged. A sickening £1 in every 3 taken over the bar goes straight into the pockets of the Treasury. Our pubs are trapped by the world's steepest alcohol duties, a punishing 20% VAT trap on food and drink, and bloated business rates slapped onto historic, energy-inefficient buildings. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, the Chancellor's recent budget pushed margins past the breaking point. Right now, 1/3 of all hospitality outlets are operating at a loss. 76% have been forced to raise prices, and 63% had to cut staff hours. The typical community pub now faces a 30% rise in their rateable value, and the loss of the 40% relief means an average tax hike of £8,000 a year. It's a totally rigged game that punishes the high street while rewarding massive online giants. Your local pub pays 20% VAT on hot food, while the mega warehouses pay 0%. The pub faces an average 76% business rates increase over the next 3 years, while the online giant faces just 16%. It's completely contrary to levelling the playing field. But we're not going down without a fight. Here is the Patriot's Playbook, an 8-point manifesto to rescue the sector, built on 3 massive pillars: the tax axe, the talent engine, and the heritage shield. We advocate abolishing business rates altogether in the long term, but today we demand these immediate survival measures. Pillar 1, the tax axe. We must dismantle these crippling rates and VAT. Restore Britain demands a permanently lowered 30p multiplier and a rural heritage exemption. We demand the immediate reinstatement at a 40% relief. Furthermore, hospitality VAT must be slashed from 20% to 12.5% immediately. The return on investment is undeniable. This cut is proven to create over 182,400 jobs and add 4.9 billion quid in turnover in just 5 years. We must also protect the pint. We demand a freeze on the punishing RPI increases on alcohol duties. We must expand Draught Relief from 9.2% to at least 20%. This isn't just about cheaper beer. Expanding this relief creates over 2,250 full-time jobs, boosts the economy by 70 million quid, and actually raises 39 million quid in net revenue for the Treasury just by sheer volume. Pillar 2, the talent engine. The recent drop in the national insurance threshold to £5,000 means virtually all part-time staff are now taxed, adding a devastating 3.4 billion quid in sector-wide costs and putting 100,000 jobs at risk. The solution? Lift the threshold to £15,000 immediately. Stop penalising seasonal workers by annualising NIC payments, just like PAYE, and offer a 1-year NIC holiday for employers who hire someone currently out of work. We also need to reward skills and loyalty to solve the 38.7% staff turnover rate. We're proposing a dual bonus structure for apprenticeships. Upon passing, the apprentice gets a £1,500 tax-free bonus and the employer gets a £1,000 grant. If that apprentice stays with that local SME for 2 years, they share an additional £2,500 loyalty bonus. Shorten the minimum durations to 8 months and scrap the age limit to stimulate older workforce entry. Pillar 3, the Heritage Shield. We must defend our culture and our countryside. Extend the Enterprise Investment Scheme so patriots can claim 30% income tax relief when they invest in closed or failing pubs, strictly for reopening or refurbishment. Launch a nationwide Buy British scheme, offering up to 50% tapered discounts to revive traditional crafts like cider making. And we demand clear meat labelling for stun versus non-stun slaughter, so pubs can proudly support top-tier, humane British farming. Part of that shield is the Youth Pint Pact. We want to update the Licensing Act to allow registered venues to serve sub-4% ABV draft products to 16-year-olds in a supervised setting. Why? Because supervised social cohesion in a community pub is vastly better than alleyway drinking. It builds confidence and provides a vital new customer base. At the same time, we must resist any further extremist drink-drive curtailments that would spell the absolute end for rural pubs reliant on car access. This is not a handout. Lowering the burden on the pint doesn't shrink the economy, it spins the pub revival flywheel. Fairer taxation lowers fixed overheads. That allows pubs to survive, stabilise prices and attract patrons back to the bar. Thriving, bustling pubs can then utilise the talent engine to hire staff without NI penalties, and that thriving local economy generates higher overall tax yields just by sheer volume, funding the Treasury naturally. The British state cannot be allowed to go on making life harder for the British publican. Without our pubs, this island home of ours would be far, far poorer. We have the data, we have the policies, and we have the patriotic duty to act. Implement the tax acts, ignite the talent engine, raise the heritage shield, support Restore Britain, save the pub, and protect the heart of the nation. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.